I've been thinking about my word for called species code. I was thinking about why, you know, the main motivation for the procreation of species and creatures and things, and I kind of considered it more so like we exist for the life of the planet. It's not nothing where we would be overly important or underimportant, but a usefulness to it. But I always watched nature, and I seen how people and creatures always related to having a sense of belonging or a sense of gathering, and why people would create, or why is they always seem so set on having a love relationship and things, and why is such desires in like animals and creatures just to create. And then I called it species code because I felt that all the creatures and the living things all followed a similar pattern, like to make something happen that was set inside them, like it was hard coded or in a way. So I would say I call that species code because it was a part of everything that the creature wanted to do, basing its desires of love and acceptance and worth and values just by anything to do with making more of itself exist. Like you'd see bugs and creatures, and all they do is create. But it seems like in species code, I called it, that seemed to be the main objective. I always do wonder about it all the time. That's why people cheat a lot and stuff, and animals have no tameness in their matings, and human sexuality and their matings too is about similar. And some people have claimed like, oh, they still love someone, they cheated on them, but they still mated with another. So it still pushed the reason that species code was the main reason why they had to mate and create. It's just that it's hard to explain certain things, so it's good to make words for it, so it becomes more easier to understand. In my opinion, I wanted to make it make sense, so through the idea that everything has to create more of itself in a pattern or in a path that ultimately gives to the life of the planet, the life, and then it goes further from that. I mean, there's always an extra level beyond another, but you want to make sense of the things that feel stupid or ridiculous or emotionally upsetting. I mean, if you don't, you're going to be left feeling despised and terrible. And species code makes a lot of things make sense that wouldn't make sense, I think. It's my way of looking at it. I get tired of hearing how they say, this is cruel or that's cruel, but it seems to be more of a innate, inner type desire, something that has to be done for the sake of the creature. I mean, even when I use the hentais and the things like that, and provocative pictures, and it seems like I'm motivated other beings online even to be lustful of some sorts. And it seems that whenever somebody makes an influence, it ultimately creates something in them that wants to create more life and things like that. And from what I analyzed, that life is its main purpose does seem to create, though, just to continue itself. I mean, I think of every living creature, animal as one type species, as like an organism, and wants to make itself exist, and you've been given the task to support it or creating it. And species code explains a lot of things that, I mean, when I put it in that area, like, oh, it's supposed to be here, it's the code, I mean, it makes it make more sense. It wouldn't make sense, though, if you didn't explore it. And nature is the greatest teacher of all for living creatures. It's a unique thing to exist and feel that you want to understand why the way you feel in life, for any inclinations, and when you're growing up in anything or when you're getting older. And the thing about it is, I wanted to make sure that I had a good grasp on it, so I like to make my own words for that.